In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the pirate marketing metrics, also known as ARR, and I'll show you exactly how to use these in your marketing strategy. If you're not already familiar with pirate marketing metrics, then I'm excited to get to be the one to share these with you because they truly are a powerful and effective and profitable way to think about and structure your business and marketing campaign. Plus, I may even throw in a few cringy pirate jokes as well, just because we can. All right. Let's get to it. Hey there, my name is Erhart, marketing strategist, and welcome to the channel, the #1 place to learn proven marketing strategies. So if that's something you're into, you may want to consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you never miss a future episode. All right. Let's talk pirate marketing metrics, what they are, why they matter, and how to use them in your business. The first thing to understand is that pirate marketing metrics, or pirate metrics, are really just an alternative or different way of looking at something known as customer lifecycle stages. Customer lifecycle stages is really just the customer journey, or the process that a customer goes through, from having no idea who you are to learning about you, and then buying from you, and then going on to tell everyone about just how great you are. The name pirate metrics, well, this just stems from taking the first letter from all of the stages and putting them together, in which case you get ARR, which, as we all know, is the universal pirate sound. You know, I'm not actually sure pirates ever talked like that, but this is a marketing channel and not a history channel, so we're gonna roll with it. Pirate metrics were first created by Dave McClure, who has a software background, but the framework still applies whether we're talking about e-com or local businesses or services or products or whatever. Long story short, these are metrics that you need to pay attention to in order to figure out where to focus and where to optimize your marketing. All right, so let's start with the first A in the equation, which is all about awareness. So the very first stage is all about getting in front of people, getting attention, maybe even building up a little bit of brand awareness. Some of the metrics you can use here are things like measuring impressions, which is how many people saw your stuff, as well as perhaps website visitors or engagement rates on your content or new versus returning visitors. The questions you want to ask yourself are, what are you doing to get your business in front of the right people? And how many of the right people are being introduced to your business daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly? After all, one of my favorite expressions in all of marketing is the fact that people can't buy from you if they don't know you exist. Now, there is an important note to keep in mind when we're talking about awareness, and that is the difference between good attention and bad attention. Now, good attention in marketing simply means getting the attention of the right people, making sure that you're getting awareness from the people that could actually buy your stuff. Bad attention, or bad awareness in this case, is getting the attention of people who are unlikely to buy your stuff or to never buy your stuff at all. So the key thing here with your awareness is making sure that you're being strategic and tactical and making sure that you're identifying where your ideal people are and going there. Only there, and ignoring everything else. All right, let's do our first pirate joke. What's the difference between a pirate and a cranberry farmer? I don't know. What? A pirate buries his treasure, but a cranberry farmer treasures his berries. I don't know why I find that so funny. All right, the next A in the pirate metrics is all about acquisition. And this is essentially the step where we take all of that awareness and all of that attention and we convert it into getting that customer, getting that prospect to take some kind of action. Acquisition is typically your first transaction or first action with a customer. Now, if you're selling something incredibly inexpensive, this could be an actual purchase or exchange of money for whatever you're selling. For most businesses, however, this first step is typically the exchange of some kind of information for your customer's contact details. What this typically looks like is some kind of lead capture, where you offer something like a lead magnet, free training, a free guide, a cheat sheet, a PDF blueprint, or something like that. And in return, your customers give you their name and their email address, maybe even their phone. An important metric to measure here is what is your conversion rate, meaning how many visitors are you getting and what percentage of those visitors are converting over into actual contacts or into actual leads. Again, if you're selling something small or something really inexpensive, you could even look at your CAC, or cost of acquiring a customer acquisition cost. The questions that you want to ask yourself at this stage is, what are you putting in front of people to get them to take action? What kind of compelling or irresistible offer can you create? What kind of lead magnet can you give someone that would get the right person, that ideal person, to say yes to? Also, make sure to track track and to measure just how many people are signing up for your email list or following your social media channels, and make sure to track these numbers either daily or weekly or monthly, or at the very least yearly, to make sure that they're growing year over year. All right, next up, let's talk about the next day, which is all about activation. Activation refers to the customer or the prospect or the lead taking the next step in the journey. Now, if you're selling something incredibly small, well, this would be buying something bigger or taking that next step. But for most businesses where they are selling something slightly larger, well, this is getting them to make that initial purchase or to convert from lead and from somebody who's just opted into your email list into an actual paying customer. Now, activation is a little bit more of a software term, so it would refer more to somebody, say, signing up for a free trial of your software. In the regular business world, outside of software, we call this stage conversion. But if we add the conversion to the R, we get occur, and that's just messy. The key metric that you really want to pay attention to here is what's the conversion rate. Essentially, how many people from your social media channels or from your email list or from your leads or prospect database, well, how many of them and what percentage are converting into customers, or how many of your existing customers are upgrading or buying your upsell or downsell or cross-sell. Basically, how many are taking that next step to further and deepen the relationship with your business? All right, another pirate joke. A cruise ship passes by a remote island, and on the island, they see a bearded man with an eye patch waving his arms wildly at the cruise ship. "Captain," one passenger asks, "who's that guy over there on the island?" "I have no idea," the captain says, "but he goes nuts every year when we pass him." Oh, come on, dude. That's not even that funny. All right, the next metric that we need to pay attention to is probably one of the most important, and it is revenue. Now, revenue is obviously incredibly important to measure because a business that doesn't generate any revenue, well, it isn't really a business, just a hobby, a really expensive hobby that drains you of your dreams and robs you of your happiness and sucks your soul dry. Now, revenue metrics here are actually pretty simple and pretty straightforward to track. We really just want to track how much revenue you're generating. You can measure this daily or weekly or monthly. Just make sure you're tracking it. Also, I'll talk about this more in just a second in the retention category, but another important metric you definitely want to be tracking is what is your revenue per customer? Most importantly, make sure that you take a look at that top 20% of your customers. Make sure that you categorize and segment them accordingly, and look for any similarities or general characteristics or overlapping traits among these top 20% of your customers. Look for similarities in age or gender or income or occupation or geographic location or attitudes or values or lifestyles or anything. The reason you want to do this is because you want to go out in the future and find more people like the top 20% of your customers, so you can create marketing and messaging that attracts them. Okay, let's talk retention. The next R in R. Now, when it comes to retention, the single most important metric you want to track is something known as CLV, which stands for customer lifetime value. This metric is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It is the value of a customer over their lifetime to your business. Now, in my experience, after having done this for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of businesses, I found that most businesses grossly underestimate the true value of a customer to their business. So you want to make sure to try to track this as accurately as possible. Another important metric to look for here is the average retention rate, which is how long does someone typically do business with your business? Of course, this is going to vary across different markets, different industries, and different businesses, but it's important to know for your unique business. An important thing to remember when it comes to marketing is that the act of actually acquiring a customer is what takes all of the work. So once they're already a customer, well, all of that cost, all of that energy, and all of that effort has already been spent. This means from here on out, it's pretty much all profit, which means you want to find ways to introduce new upsells and downsells and cross-sells and other areas of value or service or products that you can offer your customers. As the expression goes, if a mouse buys a cookie, he's going to want to buy a glass of milk. Okay, next pirate joke. A pirate and a sailor were exchanging stories, and the sailor pointed to the pirate's peg leg and asked, "How'd you get that?" The pirate said, I wrestled a shark and lost me leg." The sailor pointed to the pirate's hook and said, "How'd you get that?" The pirate said, I fought Redbeard's crew and lost me hand." Sorry, that's legitimately the best pirate expression I can do. The sailor pointed to the pirate's eye patch and said, "How'd you get that?" The pirate said, a bird came by and left droppings in me eye." The sailor said, "That's not as impressive as the other two." "Aye," the pirate answered. "It was me first day with the hook." All right, next up we have referral, which marks the transition from customer to brand ambassador or loyal brand evangelist. These brand ambassadors or evangelists, well, they're the customers that love you, love what you do, and want to tell everyone about just how great you are. These people are amazing. We love them, and we want more of them. Now, the first and the most standard way to test this by far is something called the NPS or Net Promoter Score. Here, you basically just ask people how much they love you on a scale of 1 to 10. It's kind of like being back in grade 3. High scores mean they love you. Low scores mean they don't love you so much. Now, if this is the only tool you use, it's probably going to be okay. After all, you can look at the high scores and try to figure out what went right, and you can look at the low scores and try to take immediate corrective action to solve whatever problem so this doesn't turn into a nightmare down the road. But by far the best approach here is really just to try to have as many genuine, real, one-to-one conversations with your customers and with your clients as possible. Other referral metrics you can track, of course, are literally the amount of referrals that you're getting from other customers and other clients, but you can also take a look at how many shares your content is getting on social media, how many other people talk about your business or mention it. The most important part of this all, however, is that the entire framework is built on solid marketing principles. And that's why the next thing you're going to want to do is check out the video I have linked up right here on Introduction to Marketing. So make sure to check that out now, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Marketing helps people solve their problems by clearly defining and delivering solutions and really explaining the benefits of those solutions so they can get better results.